Hey everyone, Terrence Pryor, Black Man Talks Rock. I wanted to talk about Warped Tour. So I put in for press at Warped Tour this year, knowing probably 99% I wouldn't get in because Warped Tour has an issue with black folk. Let me explain. I covered Warped Tour, must be like 2011, something like that. I covered Warped Tour 2 years in a row. Both times I had problems getting in because the people that were running, press checking for press, whatever, they didn't think that I was actually press. They assumed that, oh, a black guy? No, there's no black people writing about rock music. This is a misunderstanding. Security. 2 years in a row this happened. One time, one of the local bands saw me and like, hey, that's TP, let him in, So I got in because of someone on that was playing Warped Tour recognized me. But to have this had happened 2 years in a row, I stopped covering Warped Tour because of that. I didn't want to go back to Warped Tour. Whoever was handling, press, I don't know if that was Warped Tour staff. I'm not sure if that was just like the venue staff or whoever. Hey, you're black? I think this is fake, even though it was me and everything. But yeah, in comparison, I get invited to cover rock festivals in Europe. I get invited to cover fashion shows in Paris. I got invited to the Heavy Music Awards. I was part of the industry panel, you know, picking the nominations and whatnot. But in America, no. Being a black person in America covering rock music means being banned from covering rock festivals because they do not think that you're not. Nah, what do you know about this music? I covered a country music festival in New York City, Farnborough Festival. I had no issue getting in. I was the only black guy there. No issue getting in. They were cool. Like, oh, it's up. Came out a wristband and whatnot. No, it was cool. I have no problem covering anime conventions, video game conventions, comic book conventions that have a much bigger turnout and impact than Warped Tour. Because again, when it comes with rock festivals, no, they want a certain race there. You know, the photo on my website is a screenshot of me being on Music's Greatest Mysteries, Emmy nominated show on Access TV. I was on a few episodes. Being on a music show like that, you would think that would solidify, hey, this guy actually knows about rock music, about music in general. They're a critic on a TV show. That means nothing. It's like, whatever. And for me as a black person, I think TikTok kind of ruined it. Because you have your Mr. Professor 318. If you guys don't know, there's a black person who all they do is just dance to rock music. And then people see him and go, yeah, black people like rock music. I'm like, black people could write about it too. But you don't want to hear my words. You just want to see me dance. That's all that he does. He just goes, and just dances. Kevin Lyman would have no problem. The only way a black person could be invited to Warped Tour, aside from, playing, is if they're a TikToker, like a Mr. Professor. Kevin Lyman and Warped Tour would rather Mr. Professor post a video of himself headbanging at Warped Tour than having a black person there as a rock critic covering the event. This is how black people are viewed. This is how we're viewed. We're just dancers. We can't be voices of rock music. No, you're just dancers. For me, it's like I'm an actual voice here. There are black TikToker musicians that, they showcase their music skills and like, yeah, I could do this, that's great. We're actual voices. People like Mr. Professor 318, just a dancer. Yet they're taking more space from us. Like more people would rather watch him dance than listen to like, I don't know, Magnolia Park. They would rather watch a black guy dance to rock music than listen to a black rock band. TikTok kind of ruined a lot, and we're because of this. I think we're damn near headed back to Pit Cotton area. Like they're taking us backwards. We're dancing for our supper. Watch me dance to my Kim. No, at this point we should have been rock critics. We should have been hosting rock festivals. And it's terrible. It's funny. Speaking of racism and whatnot, it's just funny that a rock against racism is at Warped Tour. And I'm here to tell you, as a black person who has been writing about rock music for almost 20 years, you failed. We need to have an investigation on this organization. Where is this money going? Where is this money going? Is it you feeding your belly? Is it in your pocket? We need to have an investigation. And it's funny because Rock Against Racism will go to these rock publications in America that refuse to hire black people. That's the funny part. It makes no sense to me. I hate when I see these rock festivals and they go, "Oh, everyone is welcome." And I'm like, no, we're not. Everyone is welcome to buy a ticket, but not everyone is welcome to be part of this experience. When rock festivals have nothing but white guys on staff, but everyone is welcome, right? The only diverse thing is the different hairstyles all the white guys have. When rock festivals have 50 bands and they only have one woman and no black people, but everyone is welcome. When we were young, got called out for that a couple years ago. Everyone is not really welcome here. Please stop lying. To the 3 black people attending Warped Tour, Long Beach, just know that you will not be represented outside of the bands playing. There'll be no black photographers there. There'll be no black rock critics. I'll not be there. I was the only black person that probably put in for press at Warped Tour. None of these publications that got accepted for Warped Tour at any 3 dates, they're not bringing black people. I was going to be the only black person covering this event. I'm not even sure if Kevin Lyman even has black people on staff at Warped Tour. I don't know. They'll let black people perform on stage just so they can make money off of them. The rock industry in America has never let black people do anything outside of that. You've never seen black people as rock critics because Rolling Stone and all these other publications, they have to pay them. And they don't want to pay them. I wouldn't be here complaining about racism in rock journalism in America for the longest time if we saw as many black people as rock critics as we have white guys who are editors-in-chiefs for black music. Right? They're not going to hire a black person to be a rock photographer. They have to pay them. And they don't want to do that. I'm not even sure if there's a black person that is a rock photographer, a rock producer. I'm not even sure about that. Again, they got to pay them. They'll sign black rock bands and pay them, to cover recording costs, knowing that they're going to make that money back and then some. So that's okay. They only want to make money off of us. They don't want to actually pay us to be part of this industry. Lyman, when you're dead, and all the other old white guys that are in this industry, when y'all are dead, we can finally have diversity. We can finally have black voices at these events. We can finally have more women at these events because people like you have done everything in your power to block that from happening. And it's funny that me saying all of this, I'm considered unprofessional. How can a black person be considered unprofessional in a profession that didn't want them there from the start? Y'all didn't want black people in rock music. You didn't want us here. If a white guy said all of these things, you would all go, you know what? He's right. He's right. If a white guy said all of these things verbatim, you would all go, you know what? He's right. But a black person says it, no, they're unprofessional. You didn't want me here. A lot of people didn't want me here. They didn't want this skin tone talking about their music. But I have. And I'm going to keep doing that. And keep showing that black people can do this. I'm sorry that Kevin Lyman and all the other rock festivals out here, Aftershock, whoever, Uproar, I don't know, whatever festivals that exist in the past, present, and future, don't think that black people are intelligent enough to talk about their event. But yeah, if you're going to Warped Tour, whatever, you know, yeah, it still exists. The racism still exists. This whole thing, yeah. Anyway, like and subscribe, or whatever. I don't know. I'll see you next time yelling about something else. Bye.